Okay, so if we look at this question, we've got a flow chart which is asking us to do certain things. So the first thing he wants us to do is he wants us to create three variables, side A, side B, side C. So I'm going to do that within my global variables. I'm going to say side A equals 0.0. What I'm doing is initializing that as a float. I'm going to say side B equals 0.0 as well. And then finally, side C. Okay. At this moment in time, I don't care what these are. These are actually sides of triangles, but through the process of abstraction, all I need them to be is numbers. Okay, so the next bit. The next bit is saying get the length of side A and get the length of side B off the user. Okay, so side A equals, okay, I know I need this to be a float, so I'm going to do it as part of my input statement. Okay, and I've given the user a message just to make sure that it understands what it is I want it to do. Okay, I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to paste it and just change to B. Okay, if I didn't want to use the float, what I could do is get the input off the user and then afterwards change it into a float. So side B equals float side B. Okay, so both methods are perfectly valid. I'll leave both in so you can see what both are doing. Okay, I've left a little bit of space because the next thing he wants me to do is he wants me to check to see if the sides are less than or equal to 0. So if side A is less than or equal to 0, I could do a nested if statement by first of all checking side A and then checking side B. Because I'm going to try and avoid using nested if statements, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it as two separate statements. So if A or B are equal to or less than 0, that means I've got a problem with my code. So I'm going to do it as two separate statements like that. Okay, so if this is true and they are invalid, it wants me to tell them that the input was invalid. So let's say invalid input. Okay, and I've got that from the flowchart. Okay, so else. So this means that this must be when they are valid. Okay, so if they are valid, what it wants me to do is calculate side C. So if you look at the question, it says that side C is equal to the square root of A squared plus B squared. So let's start with a bracket, and I'm going to say side A squared plus side B squared. Okay, so to find the square root of that, I'll raise all that to the power of, let's just give a space so you can see what I'm doing, 0.5, because 0.5 is a half. Okay, so what I've now got is I've now got my calculation done. It now wants me to try and round it down to 4 decimal places. So I'm going to use the internal function round. Okay, so side C is going to be rounded down to, so side C is being rounded down to 4 decimal places. Okay, and then I can print my message. Side C is side C, get the speech marks in the right place. Side C is side C, and then he wants me to display it as that. So side C is just this value. Okay, right then. So if I run the code, let's see what it does. So running the code gives me what is side A. So I'm going to say side A is 15. Sorry, I'm going to I'll choose some numbers that I know what the answer will be. So I'm going to choose 3, and I'm going to choose 4, because as you can remember from maths, 3, 4 will give 5 as the other angle, and that does work. Okay, as well as doing it this way, what I could have done was doing it a slightly different way as well. So let's just hashtag these out a sec. And the other way I could have done it is I could have used a print layout. Okay, so I'm going to do is say print, open brackets, and I'm going to think about what I can do inside that statement using the idea of the layers, the layouts. Okay, so I'm going to set a layout. So layout equals, what I wanted to print, I wanted to print as side C, and then I want to put the variable into this bracket, and then say is. So side C is, and then use this bracket to put the thing into. Okay, but what I can actually do is set up the bracket to be something I want. So I'm going to say I want to print it that side, and I'm going to give it 7. The reason I'm saying 7 is because that will give me a nice shape to put things into. Okay, and then I'm going to say dot 4f, and the dot 4f will mean that I'm actually putting it to 4 decimal places within the thing. So this way means I'm not overwriting the actual answer, I'm just displaying it differently, which is slightly different to the way I did it in the first bit. Okay, so print layout. So I'm now going to print layout dot format, and I'm going to pass it side C. Okay, close the bracket at the end. Okay. So what this should now do is print side C is, and then put the value of the variable in there as a 4-digit place. So let's see if that works, just to make sure that I'm getting the same kind of thing. So I say 3, I say 4, and it gives me that the answer is 5. Okay, notice it's given me to 4 decimal places as I asked for. So either method, both are fine to use.